All right, welcome everyone. My name's Joan Woodard and I'm the hearing examiner this evening. The purpose of this hearing is to allow me to receive evidence and testimony on the matters that are pending. I make a recommendation only to the county commissioners. I do not make the final decision. I will be submitting my recommendation to staff within 2 weeks of this evening's hearing. The application will then be scheduled for deliberations before the county commissioners. If you wish to give testimony, I need you to fill out one of the sheets in the back. And when you come to the podium, please give your name and address for the record before your testimony. First, staff will introduce the application, then we will hear from the applicant. After the applicant's testimony, we will then get into the public comment sheets. We will hear from those who are in favor, those who are neutral, and then those who are opposed. The public not speaking will be read into the record. We will then give the applicant and/or their representative an opportunity for rebuttal of any of the testimony stated into the record from the public before we close the public hearing. After that point, we will receive no more testimony. The time limits are 30 minutes for the applicant's presentation, 5 minutes for public testimony, and 15 minutes for applicant rebuttal. I would ask that you direct all of your testimony to me and not to the audience. Are there any questions regarding these proceedings tonight? Not seeing any. I will have us launch in with Vlad.
Good evening, Madam Hearing Examiner. For the record, Vlad Finkel with Community Development. This is a public hearing on a remand. Originally, you heard the request MSP 19-0006 Bayshore Estates on July 2nd of this year and subsequently submitted a recommendation of approval. Following your recommendation, Community Development received additional comments from Idaho Department of Water Resources, Greens Ferry Water and Sewer District, and Idaho Department of Environmental Quality with concerns related to the potential groundwater degradation associated with the proposed septic systems on site. The applicant has agreed to prepare a nutrient pathogen study to address the potential downgradient nitrate concentrations associated with this request. With this in mind, on September 10th of this year, the Board of County Commissioners remanded this project to the hearing examiner for additional review of the nutrient pathogen study. Subsequently, upon review of a Level 1 NP study, DEQ and Greens Ferry Water and Sewer District officials raised concerns that the study does not appropriately address the proposed septic system density and subsurface conditions, thus requiring a Level 2 study. Therefore, staff recommends and the applicant requests a continuation of a public hearing to date uncertain for preparation and review of this document so that additional analysis can be made at a follow-up hearing. I stand for any questions that you have at this time.
I have no questions, Vlad.
Madam Hearing Examiner, if I may,
Please.
I would just tag on to what Vlad said, that we will do a full notice for the next public hearing. That way, no one has to guess how this is going to go forward.
Fine, that sounds good to me. Do we want to hear from the applicant?
I would think Drew would want to talk. Let me unmute him and see. Drew, did you want to respond?
Good evening, Madam Hearing Examiner. Can you hear me okay?
I
Yes.
can.
Yeah, in light of what we've received from Greens Ferry Sewer and Water and the Idaho Department of Environmental Quality, they've asked for a Level 2 study, as Vlad had indicated. We've done the Level 1 study, but they've asked us to take the next step and do a Level 2 study. And in light of that, we just need more time to prepare that. And so we want to make sure to get the county and Greens Ferry and DEQ the information that they need and they've requested. And we just need some more time to do that. And therefore, we're requesting that this be continued to a date uncertain.
How much more time do you expect to need for the study?
The Level 2 study is probably going to take us about 3 months to get done because we're going into the winter months and it's tough to do during the winter because of the frozen ground conditions. We need to drill some test wells, do some monitoring on the site, and unfortunately we just can't do that during the winter months. So it could be as soon as 3 months, it could be 5 months. It honestly depends on the weather and how bad of a winter we have, when we can get some boots on the ground and get some information.
Okay. Any other input for us?
Not unless you have any questions for me.
I don't.
Thank you.
Does anyone else need to be heard?
Well, as a courtesy, we could ask anyone that's zoomed in if they want to, but at this point, it's your prerogative. You could just end the meeting and we'd be done. Would you like me to ask? Or,
No. So do I, not having been in a situation like this before, I am absolutely in agreement that the right thing to do is to put this over for a date uncertain after you've completed and reviewed the level 2 study.
I think that's all that needs to be said. Once again, our department will renotice this in the usual way, meaning the newspaper and U.S. mail and the internet.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, everyone.
I think
That
that
closes
concludes.
our hearing for this evening.
Thank you.